Hello everyone, and welcome back again for another video. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to do something with this piece of shit right here. This is an HP 15 F233WM model laptop. It was sent to me from one of my daughter's friends in Michigan. And evidently, I guess she had gotten some water in it. It wasn't working for her. Then she finally got the water out or whatever. It dried up, and she went to start up. It wasn't working. It would blue screen before you would even load the windows and what have you. Well, I diagnosed that problem for her, and what that was the memory. The little 4 gig stick that was in there. I replaced that with my stock of older junk components that I had in here. I thought, well, I guess I should have something for that. So I actually happen to have a G-Skill 4 gig stick in there that worked just perfect. It was the matching one to this one. So I tossed that in there, and I got this thing working. And so I went to optimize it for her, and I was just like, oh my God, this thing is a piece of shit. I would never buy something like this. Let's take a look at this. Let's open this up. I'm going to boot it up real fast so you can see the speed of this. And check out the boot speed on this sumbitch right now. This is before I make any changes to it, before I do anything at all to this. This is what this piece of shit is like. And keep in mind, I optimized this so that it would boot a little bit faster. But yeah, check this out. Jesus, look at that. It's just going and going. I might just have to go make me a pot of coffee while I'm waiting for this damn thing. There, finally, it booted up to the main screen. It's still kind of doing its pre-boot thing here. But, yeah, the cursor stopped moving. It's booted up. But, damn, that was just slow as shit, wasn't it? So I've got some parts coming in for this. I'm going to throw an SSD in here. That's going to work and help out tremendously with the boot time. This notebook actually only has one slot for memory in here, so you can't put two. Otherwise, I was going to stick another 4 gig stick in there and bump it up to 8 gigs. But it just so happened that I actually have a nice little stock of memory coming in, 8 gig modules. And one of them is a DDR3 low voltage one that is actually the type that this laptop would take. So I'm going to stick that in there, bump this up to 8 gigs of RAM for with that SSD. That should really help out a lot. And then another problem this thing was having, I don't know if this is just something with this laptop or if it's common with these HPs, is this power right here. I noticed that, like, right there, it's not charging and it's plugged in, and you got to kind of wiggle it around to get it to charge. That's usually a pretty common thing that I see when I work on laptops is that those power jacks on the side there are a little worn out. So I figured since I'm going to be tearing this sumbitch apart anyways, I might as well fix that for her while I'm at it. So I'll cut this scene, and I'll come back after I start doing some shit and the parts get here. See you in a second. Okay, so right now I'm at the Crucial website, and I typed in the model number of the laptop, and it's an HP 15-F233WM, and I'm actually seeing 3 different memory modules that are available from Crucial for it. 2 of them are 4 gig. The one I'm looking for, though, is an 8 gig, and here's the model number on it right there, the CT102464BF 160B. I ordered several sticks of that from Amazon about a week and a half ago, and I did that to replenish my stock because I was running low on DDR3 modules, and Crucial is typically what I use. And what I ordered actually happens to be pretty much the exact same thing here. I actually ordered the 16 gig kits. That's usually what I'll buy, is the 16 gig kits, because I get a couple of 8 gig modules. Little cheaper than buying just the one 8 gig module. But I'm going to give that a try there and see how that goes, and see if that works. If it doesn't work, my fallback plan is to order some memory that HP actually recommends. It's actually in the service manual, and that is this stuff. It's the 693-374-001 is the model of RAM that HP recommends for 8 gigs, and it's actually a little bit cheaper than the Crucial, but like I said, I got the Crucial coming in anyway, so I'm going to give that a shot first and see what happens. If that's a no-go, then I'm going to order this, and that's how that's hopefully going to go. Hopefully this will work too. If I have to order this, I don't know. We'll see how it all turns out in the end. But let's get back to the live scene here. Okay, so I've made some progress so far. I switched out the hard drive for an SSD drive. Here's the old hard drive here. Typically when I do a hard drive swap for somebody like in a PC, I'll try to find some space for their old hard drive and give that back to them so that they have that too, something to use as a backup drive. On a laptop, it's a little different. So what I did on this one is I just got a little Sabrent adapter here that just plugs into it right there, and the other end is a USB 3 port. That way she can just take it and plug it in there, and she's got herself a nice little backup drive to use. I tried a memory swap in it. I used what Crucial recommended on their website, and yeah, that didn't work. It just, all I got was just a blank screen. This is the kit that I actually had used. It's actually a 16 gig kit, 2 sticks of 8. It's allegedly DDR3L. It's supposed to be backwards compatible with it, but it did not work. So yeah, fuck you, Crucial, you lying pieces of shit. So what I ended up doing instead is I got some of this on order. That should be here in a few days. That's some HP memory. I'm using the correct part number, which is 693-374-001. According to HP, that is the correct part number that should work with this model. So we're going to try that when that comes in. We're going to bump that up to 8 gigs, hopefully. But I do have the SSD in here. I don't have the screws put back in yet. You can see I got the keyboard flipped up still. That's because, you know, I'm going to work on this power button still. I'm waiting for that part to get in here. For now, though, I was able to test the SSD. So let's take a look at the boot time on that now. See what kind of difference that is. And keep in mind in here, there's only 4 gigs still. I haven't upgraded the memory either yet, just the SSD. The boot time has absolutely improved over what it was. I think it's still kind of dog-ass slow, though. I don't know if that's because of the memory or if it's just because it's an HP thing. My personal opinion is this is probably an HP thing. There we go. It's booted up. One thing that I noticed was that the CPU was like a, let's see, let me switch over to here real fast. We'll go to the task manager under performance, so we'll take a look at that. It's an Intel Celeron N3060 at 1.6 gigahertz. That's a dual core piece of shit. 4 gigs of memory, like I said. What really kind of makes me think this is an HP thing is that same CPU, the N3060, is actually used in stuff like the Acer Chromebooks, like the CB3, the R11, the C731. Things like that are in Chromebooks. Same processor that's in this HP that run on Chrome OS, and people usually will take those Chromebooks and convert them to Windows 10. That's actually where I'm at here, is at the Coolstar website here, taking a look at some of these Chromebooks here. And I've actually done swaps on those, and I'll do a video on one here coming up, but I digress. But it just seems to me that those Chromebooks, anytime I've done those with this same processor, or even ones that are even slower than this, that it's actually a lot more snappier than what this one is. So I think that's really kind of the HP hardware that kind of holds this back. I think that boot time on this one should have been a little bit quicker. We'll see how it changes once I get the memory stick in there. If the long as the one that I ordered that's allegedly the correct part number works in here, we'll find out. But I'm going to cut this scene, and I'll come back after I get the other stuff in here to see how it's performing. So before I move on to the next scene, I want to show you something here real quick. This is an Acer Chromebook 11 C740. It normally runs Chrome OS, but I did some modifications on this and made it run Windows 10. It's got a new 128 gig drive over what the old drive used to be. But anyways, let's check out the boot time on this. This also has a 1.5 gigahertz Celeron dual core processor in it. And let's check out the boot time on this. And this only has 4 gigs of memory. Watch this. I mean, that's probably about half of what that HP was, that last scene. So let's carry on to the next scene and see what happens. Okay, so the part that I ordered off of Amazon that is supposed to be the correct part number and should have looked like this arrived today. Here it is. This is actually, let's see if I can change the light here so you can see this. This is actually a Hynix chip. The serial or part number on it is actually not the same as what we see here. I tried it out. It didn't work. All I got was a black screen. Damn. So I'm not going to dick around going around and around about that. I'll just hold on to this one, use it for something else. Gonna have to stick with the 4 gigs that's in here. But I did make a little bit of a change. This is the memory module I did have in here. It's actually a DDR3 1333. I put a DDR 1600 speed module in here. Not much else to do besides that. I mean, if this 8 gig's not going to work, the Crucial one's not working. I think it just might be in the model in this thing. This thing is just a piece of crap. Like I said, I did put the 1600 speed in there. I think that kind of changed things a bit. We'll see here in just a minute. We're going to boot up here in just a sec, but one thing I want to note before we do this, and I'll get into the Linux portion here in a minute, you'll notice that the changes I made on this is actually now a dual boot where it goes to Windows 10 and Linux Mint Cinnamon, and I'll get to the Linux Mint portion here in a minute, but for now, let's just do the Windows boot and see what kind of speed that we get out of this. So let's go ahead and do that and check out the timer. and that's with the memory change. Like I said, all I changed was the speed of the memory. I didn't change the amount. Still 4 gigs. So I think that's an improvement. We'll find out here when I watch the video and I set the timer on it to see how long that went. Overall, though, it's still a vast improvement to what this computer used to be. Because when she sent it to me, actually, it was just blue screening. So, but yeah, with that new SSD in there and that memory changed, not too bad. But let's go to the Linux portion now. And this is really going to be focused more at Ava. That's the girl that owns this laptop. Just some things that I wanted to go over with her. Let me hurry up. We'll go down to Linux Cinnamon here. Now, I know Ava isn't familiar with Linux. She's never used it, but I did install it on this laptop, and I did that for a reason. Ava is a digital artist, so she does a lot of Photoshop, not Photoshop, but, you know, some of these other free programs that you can use. And Linux is actually a really nice operating system to use for that. All right, boot up here. Now this didn't happen before. This is actually the first time oh, there it goes. This was actually the first time I booted the Linux, and it actually booted faster for me with the slower memory. Go figure. Now it's just kind of hanging. There we go. But anyways, like I said, this portion is more focused at Ava here, so Ava can see this. First of all, Ava, first thing you're going to notice here down the bottom, I put this little sticker here that says Linux Mint password is root. Now, when you install Linux, you need to put a password in, and you need to use that password anytime you're installing programs. Root is just the default password that I usually put in when I do a Linux install. But you will definitely want to change that. And in order to change that, you just want to go to administration here and then scroll down to users and groups. And see right there, it's asking for a password, and I'm going to put my password in, root. And there it's going to show the user right here, Ava. And to change your password, you just go right here where it says password, click on it, and you'll be able to change your password there. And I really recommend you do that. You don't want to just leave it root. That's kind of silly. But yeah, you want to change that password right away. And don't forget this password. Now, if you remember Ava, in order for me to get into your drive when I changed the new memory module in it, I had to hack your Windows password. Now, hacking your Windows password is pretty dang simple. For the most part, for most any computer that you give me, you know, because Microsoft sucks and, you know, they're just easy to hack. But Linux, not so much. It's not so straightforward as it is with Windows. So don't lose the password when you do change it, please, because if you want me to hack that, that's going to be a little more time consuming. But anyways, like I said, the main reason I put Linux on here is because of some photo programs. I got GIMP on here, Blender, and Krita, which absolutely run awesome in Linux, especially GIMP. GIMP runs a lot better in Linux than it does in Windows, at least in my opinion. And in this version of GIMP, I actually installed all kinds of filters and stuff like that basically everything GIMP has to offer in here. So I think you're really, really going to like using GIMP in Linux. So you might want to go ahead and give that a try. And another thing to note is that if you go right here under your File Explorer, you actually can access Windows in here. You can see it right there, Windows 10. If you click on that, that'll show you all your Windows files. Now, before you do anything with that, I'm going to tell you right now, be careful. The reason is that what you're seeing in Linux for Windows files is sometimes, a lot of times, these files are actually hidden on Windows and you don't see them. You could actually screw your computer up, your Windows installation up, if you mess with some of these. Like right here, the hibernation file, the page file, the swap file, things like that. You can really screw it up. And actually, Linux is the operating system I would use usually when I do password recoveries, or if I'm hacking a password or making some changes to Windows that you normally can't do with just the Windows interface. So be careful when you are in Linux and you're looking at your Windows drive. Now, usually what you'll want to do is just go to Documents and Settings and then find your name here, AV, and then you'll see, you know, here's your documents, your downloads, your music, your pictures, all that you can access from the Linux operating system as well. Now, it's too bad you can't go on Windows and access the Linux files, but, you know, that's just the way it is. I suppose you could if you find a program, but this is nice if you have something on your Windows folder, like say you got a picture here in your pictures folder, and like right here, camera, like here, desktop INI, you'll never see that in Windows, but you will see it in Linux. But like, let's say you had some pictures in here and you want to manipulate it in Linux using GIMP or something, you can go ahead and go to the Windows drive and get that from there. So that's pretty convenient. And then also, like I had shown before, you got that backup drive too. You'll be able to put your backup drive in there and you'll be able to access that from Linux too. So you can actually, you know, boot into Linux, do your graphics drawings and stuff or whatever, save it onto the backup drive or save it onto the Windows drive or whatever. But yeah, it's a nice way to switch back and forth. And here, we'll do another quick reboot here. But otherwise, you'll want to play around with Linux. I'm not going to get too involved in explaining Linux. I'm not going to do a Linux tutorial, but that's also an FYI for anybody else that wants to use it. This actually does run Linux quite fine. And again, we'll watch the speed of Windows 10 booting in here one more time, and you'll notice that I haven't touched anything. This will actually boot Windows by itself if you just leave it alone. It's got a little timer on there. I think I set it to 10 seconds. I don't remember. But yeah, so what you got here, kid, is a dual boot system going on right now. It is absolutely running a lot better than what it did when you sent it to me. That's for damn sure. So I think this one's going to be a wrap. I'm going to put the screws back in, put it back together, and we'll get this over to the post office, and we'll get it sent off to you. Hope you enjoy. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. I got some other projects coming up. As I always do, I got a Dell coming up that I'm going to show you. I'm probably going to do a little Hackintosh one. I got some other stuff lined up. It just all depends on what my time is. But I'll see you later, guys. I'll see you in the next video, and have a good one.